Grand Rising, Grand Rising. Shout out to y'all for tapping into the vid. It's your boy Jay back here with another one. I was just leaving the gym and I was listening to some edifying knowledge, some things to get the day going. You know, I like to listen to things that are going to build me and build my mind as I'm building my body. You know, music is cool. We do that too a little bit when, you know, everything has a time and a place. But in the video I was watching, it was just talking about the importance of familiarizing yourself with your goals, your dreams. So a lot of times what we hear in like the law of attraction, manifestation, you know, making things happen community is that, you know, we get the things that we are attracted to on an energetic level, on a frequency level, on a vibration level. Now there may be some truth to that, you know, we're not going to deny that truth, but even more so on a psychological level, the things that we are going to attract to, the things that we're going to, you know, get closer to are ultimately the things that we're most familiar with. So the things that we're most familiar with in our mindset, in our brain, in our belief system is the things that we're going to attract in your life. For example, if you grew up not having that much money, you're going to be most familiar with not having that much money, and then that pattern tends to repeat itself. Or if you grew up seeing an example of love in a certain way with your mom and dad, and now you growing up and you seeing that you having the same patterns of that type of relationship with the people that you're, you know, involved with, then that pattern is going to repeat itself. And it's not necessarily because you're attracted to it. It's not necessarily because you want it to happen, but it's because you're most familiar with that in your brain, in your belief system. And the reason this is because, you know, from age 0 to 7, our brain is in a theta wave state. So everything that we're experiencing in our environment is going straight to our subconscious mind. Because once we're in theta, that's basically hypnosis. And hypnosis is basically, you know, the process of becoming, you know, in one reality to another. And how that works is, you know, through the subconscious mind, as you add new beliefs, as you add new things that you're familiar with, you start to literally change your reality in that moment. Because reality happens inside first rather than external. So since reality is an internal game, since we understand that we have to be familiar with things before we achieve them in our life, how can we apply this to manifesting our goals? How can we apply this to attracting certain things that we want? And, you know, we've heard it countless of times, but we're going to repeat it. And, you know, I'm going to tell it in a way to where I can kind of relate it to my life and the story with my life, right? So, you know, anytime that I've accomplished something in my life, anytime I've hit a goal, anytime I've really, you know, experienced something that I felt like was out of reach before, it's all came through this process I'm about to tell you right now. So basically what the process looks like is, for example, when I got my apartment, and my apartment, it was downtown Dallas. I'm paying like $2,500 a month, almost $3K a month for this apartment downtown Dallas, and it was everything I had envisioned in my mind. And it was really, you know, something that I was striving for, because at the time, you know, I was in a different apartment in Arlington. You know, if y'all familiar with the DFW area, you got Dallas, you got Arlington, you got Fort Worth. Arlington, in my opinion, is the worst out of the three. It's the hood. I was living with 3 other roommates, and, you know, it wasn't the best living situation. At the end of the day, I was paying $600. I had got my car stole out there, and in this mind state, I couldn't be the person that I wanted to be surrounded in that environment and thinking as in that environment would allow me to think, because therefore I would continue to, you know, attract that same environment, those same habits and those same routines and results in my life over and over again. So what did I do? I got familiar with the version of myself who already had the goals that I wanted to achieve. So how did I do this? Well, first I wanted to, you know, when your brain is most susceptible, when your brain is most in a theta state, is before you go to sleep and right as soon as you wake up. This is when your brain is the most suggestible. This is when your brain waves go from beta, which is the state that we're in consciously throughout the day. It's the state I'm in right now. And then, you know, you have alpha state. That's your most creative state. That's when you like in that flow state people talk about. And then you have, you know, the level beneath alpha is going to be theta, and theta is hypnosis again. This is like right before you go to sleep, you know, when you're in that deep trance, like, you know, you're still awake, but your eyes is closed and you're really about to drift off in that little window of time. That's when you have the best. And then you also experience that as soon as you know, wake up. So first thing I did was, as soon as I wake up and before I go to sleep, I had a note card. Now this note card, I got the idea from The Strangest Secret, Earl Nightingale, and he said if you read this note card every single day for the next 30 days, you'll have what you put on the note card. So make a goal, read it every day, and then keep a positive mind state about that. And if you don't keep a positive mind state about that outcome, then you have to restart the 30 days. So I said, okay, bet. Let me try this out. Let me see, what else do I got to lose? I'm in this apartment. I'm not making too much bread right now. Things ain't going the way I want it. Life ain't really happening how I envision it to happen. What do I have to lose? So I started to read this note card. It was, I am now making $10,000 a month, which is coming to me daily in ever increasing amounts. So I would read this note card as soon as I wake up, as soon as I went to sleep. And as I read it, I envisioned the lifestyle that comes with making $10,000 a month. I imagine how it would feel making $10,000 a month. I imagine where I would be when it comes to making $10,000 a month. Boom, I'm envisioning that. And then also I'm putting myself in the environment. So every day what I would do is I would act as if the person that was making $10,000 a month, I would act like that person now. So I would wake up, do my morning routine, go hit the gym, go back, take my shower. Then I rented out an office, for about $400 a month or something like that. I rented out this office, so I would go into this environment where everybody was working, everybody was successful. I would and just be there, work all day. It was a rented office, like a co-working space. Be there all day instead of working at home where I was surrounded by more chaos in the environment I didn't want to be in. So I would do this, boom, put myself in the environment, reading this every day, envisioning it every day, trying to keep myself in a positive mind state. And then also I would envision in my mind, me unlocking the door to my new apartment with a magnetic key, because I knew that if I had a luxury apartment that it would have to be a magnetic key. So as I'm doing all three of these things, plus keeping a mind state that's, a good mental framework throughout the day, a good emotional state, next thing you know, stuff started to shift. I started to recognize me thinking different. I started to, see new opportunities around me. I started to feel different on a daily basis. I started to feel more motivated. I started to feel better about myself. And then I showed up, in nice clothes. I started to invest in my wardrobe. I started to invest in the person who I wanted to be and the person I envisioned myself as in the present, even though my current situation wasn't necessarily that situation. So going back to the first point, I started to make myself familiar with not only the results I wanted to create in my life and the things that I wanted, but I also started to make myself familiar with the person I needed to become in order to experience those results. I put myself in the environment. I started to dress better. I started to, build some of these healthy habits, ordering my food through a meal delivery service as opposed to cooking, because it would save time. And the people that I, see in these places, they, successful people, they value time. So, am I going to spend all my time trying to cook and stuff like that when I could just order? So I started to do the things that would be the things that I would do as the person I wanted to become. Lo and behold, started to make $10,000 a month, $15,000, $20,000 a month. I got the apartment downtown. And, that was kind of how it happened, was I had to make myself familiar with the things I wanted, plus the person I needed to become to get there and the emotions that I would feel if I was there, and therefore it created itself. Now, the reason why I lost those things is because I didn't continue this process. I didn't continue to make it a familiar thing. I started to slip back into old patterns, old habits, old stuff that, was from the previous version of myself, which pulled me back down to getting those results. So this is key to not only get where you want to be, but it's key to stay consistent. And the reason why you need to immediately after you get that next goal is to set a new one, is so you can always have something to strive to. Because as soon as you get that goal and you stop doing the process of the next version of yourself, you could slip back into the old version of yourself. So that's why it's important to keep stretching yourself, keep setting bigger and bigger goals, which is what I'm doing now. So hope y'all appreciated the video. If you liked the video, like the video, comment what you want to see next, subscribe if you're new. I'll catch you all in the next one. Peace.